On ANZAC Day 1992, football fans paused to remember the ANZACs before the start of our big round 6 game against Melbourne. Little did we realise that just a few hours later, the heroic deeds of the Bombers would produce a victory for us that's going to stay in our memory for a long time to come. We had entered the game with a lot of confidence, having comfortably beaten arch-rival Hawthorn the previous week. But we still had a way to go to reach the top 6 in the competition. A win was vital. The side had been weakened by the last-minute omission of Deputy Vice-Captain Gary O'Donnell and Darren Buick, who had shown blistering pace the previous week. Our hopes of a top performance were shattered quite early as Melbourne grabbed the initiative and raced away to a 5-goal lead in the first quarter, a lead which ultimately stretched to 45 points at half-time. Our field kicking had been poor throughout. The opposition were easily able to break most tackles. Undisciplined play led to free kicks against Essendon and relatively easy goals. To make matters worse, Melbourne kicked with uncanny accuracy. Essendon produced a better third quarter, adding 4 goals, but was unable to make any impression on the scoreboard. For the spectators, a 41-point deficit at three-quarter time made victory seemingly beyond reach. But the 20 players and their coach weren't ready to concede. They had sensed their opponents were not running quite as hard as they had earlier. The coach, Kevin Sheedy, and the team genuinely believed that this ANZAC battle was not lost. And so now we look to a memorable quarter of football when the Bombers achieved a target which to virtually everyone on the ground seemed impossible. The team produced an incredible comeback to record one of the club's greatest victories. A win rightly compared to our 1981 game against Carlton in 1981 and our last quarter in the 1984 Grand Final. The Essendon Football Club thanks the AFL for allowing Essendon supporters to relive the excitement of that great final quarter, and the management of K-Rock, whose commentary team led by Ted Whitten captured all the drama for the huge radio audience. And when we see the game, then we'll see Ted Whitten talking with some of the key players in Comeback. It was certainly a game which proved that if you think you can win, you will. Now to the final quarter.
Did well in that third quarter also, and Spawn has delivered the goods all day for the Bombers, but there's not too many more. Let's see if they can come back into it in this final quarter.
K-Rock football, 6NR in Perth, and here in Melbourne on K-Rock the bounce, and Big Salmon got the ball down here but wasn't very effective, picked up by Anderson. His kick is a hurried one. Along the ground it travels straight to the arms of Viney from centre half back. He hits the centre wing and he's got his teammate there in it looks like in Glenn Lovett. Glenn Lovett takes the mark and plays on. He's going down looking for Swartz from behind, is punched away by that player into the arms of Izzard. A hurried kick to centre half forward, looking for a teammate. Oh, a chance there for Big Somerville, taken away, and down they go behind play. You Watson there, as I call the game, as Kilpatrick chasing after the football close to the boundary line with Sullivan, and a throw-in will take place on the outer side. Fill me in.
No, nothing happened, Ted. The umpire just let it go.
I heard the crowd roaring you guys. I wondered what happened as I was calling. Now the boundary umpire on the outer side bring the ball back into play. In the front position, Considine. Lyon from behind. Out they go to meet it. Knocked away there by Considine again. Out it comes towards, looks like Tony Danaher. It is. He goes to centre half forward. It's an awkward looking bounce. It comes back here to that Melbourne player, Lamprey. He can't control it. A chance there for Yates. He can't control it. In goes Stretch now. Can he do something about it? Yes. He gives a handball to Michael Pickering. Back comes to Rode, who drives the ball towards centre wing and has been marked down there by Lyon. He plays on. Out comes Michael Long, but Beveridge has got it. He got around the two coloured boys, got a handball over to Pickering. Pickering to Sullivan. It's a goal to Melbourne. Football personified, and it's brilliant pass by the Demons, and that's his third goal to Sullivan. Melbourne getting away from Essendon. 19-7-1-21, leading Essendon 10-14-74.
Champagne stuff, wasn't it? It really was. It was Mowat and Shandon stuff, that, because from centre half forward, Gary Lyon, who's played a faultless game of footy this afternoon, initiated 3 or 4 handballs. They were quick, and cool in a crisis, and eventually Sullivan has been able to score his easiest goal for the game, and it brings them up to 19, the D's.
3 goals to Chris Sullivan. There's the bounce in the centre. Up they go. Knocked away here by the big fella Salmon, but it goes down to Cuthbertson in the centre. Kicks across the square. Bounces here for Anthony Danaher. Runs through the pack and caught. Dropped the football. Too high is the tackle. Umpire Viney says play on now, and he runs into a wall of Melbourne players. A little chip pass went about 5 metres and cleared away out of defence by Flood, but it's been marked here by Izard. Izard's got it on the members' wing. A left foot kick in, looking for Somerville. It's over his head. It's awkward. Wanganeen got a push. In they come. Phoebe's there. Pushes the ball over the boundary, and a throw-in will take place.
Sullivan's a bit slow, isn't he?
Oh, slow as treacle on that occasion. It is the last quarter, I realise, but the feet were going up and down in the one spot.
Slow as treacle.
Here's the throw-in. Up they go again. Knocked away by Somerville once more. Came down to Denham. Denham a left foot snap in towards the forward line once more. Punched back by Healy over the boundary line for a throw-in 40 metres out from goal. Waiting for the throw-in. And it's the boundary to put it back into play here. They set themselves, the big fellas. Up they go. Oh, it's over both their heads. Here's a chance. Harvey gets his boot to it. Kicks it into the forward line. Off the hands of the pack and through for... No, it's through for nothing. It's over the boundary and touched, and a throw in. The goal umpire put up his hand. I said, what are you doing? It's the boundary's job. Here's the boundary, throws it back into play, and Steins over the top just puts it back over the boundary again. And we check the scoreboard on the TAC Insurance scoreboard. Melbourne 19-7-121, Essendon 10-14-74. 3.5 minutes into the last quarter, and over the top again comes Somerville. Thumps the ball to the open spaces. Harvey's there, smothered off the boot that time beautifully by Viney. Met very heavily by Long. Long a bit of tunnel ball there. Gets it down towards Healy. In goes Bomber Thompson, traps it. Handball to an opponent. They've smothered it again, and the umpire will ball it up.
Having a red hot go, those guys, I tell you, Melbourne.
It's very physical in there at the moment, Ted, and umpire John Russo comes in and says, spread out a bit, boys, and we'll bounce it. 45 to 50 metres out from goal. Big Steins thumped it away this time. Danaher's there. Anthony couldn't do anything with it. In goes Denham. His kick was smothered again. They go in hard. There's Phoebe trying to push the ball to the open spaces to Greg Healy. He shot the handball out to Graham Yates on half-back flank. Yates out to the half-back flank, and it's been marked by Anderson, who quickly plays on. Gets away from Cuthbertson. Steps out on the left foot. A little short pass into half-forward, and it's an Essendon mark. Within kicking distance, 30 metres out directly in front, and the Bombers have marked it. It looks like it might be the big fella Somerville.
It's a wonder, you know, Brian, a player like Anderson with the ability that he does possess finds it very difficult to kick on his wrong foot.
Yes, he does, and he took that one step too many, didn't he?
Yeah, it was a very awkward kick.
However, luck's a fortune, and it did land in a team player's arms, and let's see what happens.
And Somerville comes in from 35 metres out directly in front, and he puts it through for full points to Essendon. They need that. 11, that's his second goal. 11-14, 80 points Essendon, and Melbourne 19-7-121. So it's a 41-point lead to the Bombers 5 minutes into the last quarter.
Yes, 5 minutes in, and Melbourne doing extremely well here against this Essendon side. Essendon, of course, a great victory last week over Hawthorn, and we're looking for a victory here this afternoon. And Melbourne are showing them a clean pair of heels. 19-7 to 11-14, a total 121 to 80. There's the bounce in the centre. Salmon sits underneath, got a bit of a tap, goes straight to Harvey, and they go into attack again. Knocked on by Wanganeen up towards half forward, but out comes Bryce. Beautiful defensive football. Drives it to centre wing on the outer side. Hill's out there for Essendon, traps the football, gives a handball over to Kilpatrick, who steadies down for the Bombers and drives towards centre half forward. No mark. Salmon, it must be his birthday. He runs into an open goal, he fires, and he's put it through for full points, and that's goal number 4 to the big fellow, known as the Fish. He must have got the fright of his life when that ball landed in his arms there, Brian.
Many happy returns to him because, every now and then the good luck does come your way, and that was Christmas Day for him, and it's also Christmas Day for Essendon because of having got these last 2 goals. It's going to be a huge obstacle to overcome to even get back into the game. But if they score about next 3 or 4, then
5,
then it's going to be a game.
7.
But, yeah, well, on you go, boys.
Back in the centre, the umpire comes, and that's umpire Russo, puts it down. Salmon underneath, he taps it down, but there was nobody there apart from Melbourne players, and in the tune of Glenn Lovett, who gathers it and sends it to centre wing. Hill's out there, chased by chased by Healy, but Healy decided to chase after the football, marked by Izard. Izard plays on, left foot pass by that player, and chipping in there was Thompson, but it was knocked away into the arms here now of Spawn. Spawn's got plenty of time, a left foot kick by that player up to the square, and the target was goes Wallace, and a beautiful mark to Wallace of Essendon. He just, if I can paint the picture for you, he was having a bit of a battle there with, it looked like Bryce, was it not? And he put the left arm out and he just tucked it into his chest. Around he went and pirouetted around, and the umpires paid the mark some 6 metres out from goal. He's almost directly in front. Do they need this? 19-7, 121 to Essendon, 12-14, 86, 7.5 minutes in. Coming in now. He stabs at this and he's made no mistake. He's put it straight through the centre, full points to Essendon, 13-14, 92. Melbourne, 19-7, 121 on the TAC Insurance scoreboard, along with Capital Building Society, Peter Norley, GMHBA, Ray Henry, and Colin Kerr Ford on relay to 6NR in Western Australia. Comments from Brian Brushfield.
In a game that hasn't featured high marking or aerial duels, indeed the mark of the day would go to Wallace on that occasion, and it was recognised with a goal. So with a wet sail for the Essendon boys, and they're going to make a game of this if nothing else. They've still got a hell of a long way to go, mind you, but they're on the march.
3 goals to the Bombers in the last quarter. The bounce, an awkward one by Viney, knocked away by Steins and punched out of his hands. You got a whack in the head, Jimmy Steins. You might get a free kick for this. The umpire Viney said, yeah, I'll give you one, Jim. Jim goes for the short pass out to the wing, marked by Todd Viney. On the members' wing, a hand pass to Pickering. Pickering dummies, then turns on the right boot, kicks up to the full forward position. The Demons fly high, off the hands of the pack, taken by Kickett. Kickett a bounce, runs out to the halfback, a handball to Considine at centre halfback, steps around Pickering, kicks across the square to half forward, looking for the big arms of Somerville, and he's taken the mark on the half forward flank. Are the Bombers coming home? Let's have a look at this one as Somerville goes back. He's about 70 metres out from goal for Essendon, kicks into the forward line. The sun's in the eyes of Big Sam, and he puts up the hands and lets it drop down onto the chest as well, and he's taken the mark 30 metres out directly in front. Paul Salmon, he's kicked 4 goals this afternoon, a chance to go back and kick goal number 5. Well, Somerville, a big mark on the half forward line, then a pass into the big fella Salmon, and Essendon are fighting back. They've reduced the 3/4 time margin from 41 points back to 29. Let's see what he can do with this one. He should be able to kick it. He's 35 metres out directly in front. A vital kick for the Bombers as Paul Salmon comes in, shoots in towards goal. He puts it through, and the margin's back to 23 points in favour of Melbourne, with Essendon 14-14, 98 points. Melbourne 19-7, 121. TAC Insurance scoreboard. K-Rock football magic for the MCG.
And don't forget, it's in your hands. Concentrate or kill.
Melbourne's wheels are spinning, and all of a sudden there's only 23 points to diff. Essendon coming back at them, and they can get up here.
Hawthorn 18-12, 120. Collingwood 14-5, 89.
What about the Princess Park?
Princess Park, the ball's only just been bounced for the final quarter, where St Kilda lead by just over 3 goals.
Comments from Dwayne Russell. The bounce in the centre. Steins gets up, knocked away there by Big Salmon. In they go, taken away there by Beveridge of Melbourne. He hits the half forward line. Out comes Tony Danaher. He's got the football. He's in trouble. He weaves out of trouble. Got it to Considine. Handball to Harvey. Harvey now goes to half forward, and the target is Somerville. And Somerville's marked. Somerville's marked for Essendon, 40 metres out, directly in front of goal. Essendon 14-14, 98. Melbourne 19-7, 121. Brian Brushfield, can he kick this?
Can he ever chalk this one up? And watch out, because Essendon are really coming at them.
Now Somerville from 40 metres out, coming in. He fires at goal. The umpire likes him.
Yes!
Another one to Essendon. And the Essendon crowd are alive and well at the MCG, and the scores are looking better now. Melbourne 19-7, 121, leading Essendon 15-14, 104.
3 goals to Peter Somerville, and I asked the question, where did all these red and black flags come from? They haven't been waved for 3.5 quarters, but all of a sudden they're up and running, and there's a different atmosphere in this one, I'll tell you, because it's going to go right to the wire.
And the Essendon team reduced the margin to 17 points, the shortest it's been for since the first quarter. No one got the hit out at centre bounce, but then it's thumped to the arms of Glenn Lovett. Brett Lovett, he kicked up the half ball, but it's an Essendon mark at half back. It's been taken by Mark Harvey. Young Chris Sullivan been very good since half time, and he had that one kick early in this last quarter, which he's kicked a goal. Here's Harvey's little short pass out to the half-back line. Sees Anthony Danaher, and he's on his own. He marks it. Kicks long to the half-forward flank in front there. Was Spawn, had the ball knocked out of his hands by Viney. He gives a long handball to the wing to Stretch. Stretch pushes it out in front of him, away from his opponent in Danaher, and over the wing on outer side. It goes over the boundary.
We're only 12 and a half minutes into the last quarter here. 121 to 104. Melbourne in front of Essendon.
By 17 points on K-Rock football. Here's the throw in on the outer wing, and Danaher thumps it back away from Beveridge to the boundary line. Little Healy traps it though, gets a handball. There's a umpire down the ground. Viney gets a little short past the player across here to Pickering. Pickering hand passes into the big fella Stein. Stein's across the square to half forward. Oh, kick it met heavily there by Carpenton. Lost the football. It comes out here to Grant Williams. Williams kicks into full forward for the Demons. Up goes Sullivan. It slipped through his hands, and it's off his hands and through for a point to Melbourne.
I reckon that was a shocking effort by the umpire. That could have been a free kick. The kicker should have not.
Yeah, there was one there for kicking.
Oh, it's a bad one.
18-point the margin in favour of Melbourne. 13 minutes into the last quarter. Here's Mr. Football.
Flood bringing the ball back into play for Melbourne now for Essendon from the scoreboard end. It's been marked down there by Anthony Danaher. A handball goes to Long. He'll outsmart him here with one bounce, and look at him stretch out. Gives a handball to Considine. He's looking for someone to kick to. It's Big Salmon he's gone for. Salmon got a hand to it, knocked away, but he walks into an open goal, Salmon, and he's goal. It's another one to Essendon, and that's 6 goals to Salmon. And the Bombers are not down yet here at the MCG. 12 points separate both sides. Melbourne 19 goals, 8, 122. Essendon 16, 14, 110 on the TAC Insurance scoreboard.
Gee, I've seen some revivals in my footy days looking at so many games, but boy, gee, this is as good as there is. And there's actually 2 people who've had the audacity to leave the stadium. I must have to catch the last train or something. This is cliffhanger stuff here as Essendon creep closer and closer to the
cliffhanger at Princess Park too, where Carlton are coming back as well.
There's the bounce in the centre. Melbourne by 2 goals. Steins wins the head out, kicks it off the ground on the square. Little Sullivan overruns the football. Anthony Danaher comes in the centre, picks it up with the left boot, kicks across the square. It bounces awkwardly here. Little Beveridge tackles the football, grabbed, lost it, picked it up again. Kicks it high in the air in the centre. Underneath it is Anderson, a strong mark in the centre for the Bombers. He quickly hand passes behind him to Harvey. Harvey, a long kick into centre half forward. Up goes Salmon's hands, punched out of his hands to Long in the centre square. Tackled, he's lost the football. Greg Healy grabbed it, tackled, lost the football. In they go. Bomber Thompson, a hand pass to Wanganeen. Tackled, a hand pass to Izzard. Tackled, a kick in towards goal by Izzard. And it's well offline, and it's over the boundary on the full, and a free kick to Melbourne in the back pocket.
I wonder what they had to drink at 3/4 time.
Oh, some jungle juice in there. Oranges, I think, because really they have revved up and the others have stopped as though shot. Melbourne.
Road out of the back pocket for Melbourne. Clears it out to the half-back flank. Punched off the hands of the pack across the half-back line. Wanganeen dived on it, missed it. Kicked off the ground by Anthony Danaher. Taken by Bomber Thompson. Play-on's the call for the umpire. Melbourne desperate to get it out as it comes to Yates. Yates kicks into the centre wing position, Members side. Punched down by Considine to Anderson. Tackled. Had to handball backwards. Comes to Edel Izzard. Gets a player loose on the edge of the square. It looks like Somerville, and it is. And Somerville 55, 60 metres out from goal. Looking, there's a man loose, Long on his own. He's calling
So
for
is
it.
Tickett.
And he's calling for it, and he's let him go. He reckons he can kick it from 60 metres out, Peter.
No hope.
The monster kick when he gets onto one, Brian.
Well, let's see what he can do. He goes for the short pass. He's going to man, calling for it in the forward line. Up they go. It looks like Wallace knocked away by 2 opponents, but he's backed up by Hills. Hills is on the boundary line, 50 metres out. Knocked out of his hands. Comes back to Hills. Tackled by Road. He's lost it, but it falls in the arms of Long. Long, a short pass into the forward line. Salmon has marked again. He's kicked 6. He's marked it 30 metres out directly in front of goal.
This will make it 6 points the difference if he can put it through.
3 of his 6 goals have come in the first 15 minutes of this last quarter.
And we're 16 and a half minutes into the quarter on relay to 6NR in Western Australia.
It's 16 and a half minutes played in this last quarter. Salmon, another vital kick. The Bombers 2 goals away from catching up to Melbourne after trailing by 41 points at 3/4 time.
Kicked 3 in the last so far.
Let's see what he can do with it, Salmon. Concentrating. goes back behind the 50-metre line. He'll come into about 40. The man on the mark's about 35 out. Salmon comes in, shoots him towards goal. Put down goal number 7, Paul Salmon. 6 points the difference at the MCG.
Wayne Russell.
Yes, it's exciting at Princes Park too, where St Kilda only have a 4-point lead over Carlton. 16-8, 104 to Carlton. 15-10, 100.
Paul Salmon has produced his PB. He's kicked his 4th goal for the quarter. Lone-handed he's brought Essendon back into this game, and he's revived them tremendously. He's now back in the centre to contest the bounce, and if Essendon win, that's a Paul Salmon win.
Peter Pearson.
Harvey's having a bit of trouble with cramp in the centre there, Ted.
Back in the centre here now. Umpire's about to put the ball down to play. It's high in the air and the big fellow goes in. Salmon again. He's doing it in the centre, around the ground and at full forward. Overrunning the football. There was Brett Lovett. A chance there now for Essendon as they're going in very hard indeed. Stretch kick was smothered. Brett Lovett's wasn't. And Kickett underneath. Will he mark? Yes. A courageous mark by Kickett in defence. Handballs over to his teammate running past there and is taken away by Considine. Gets it over towards Anderson. Anderson's got long loose and the Bombers are on the march. Handball to Anderson. Anderson goes down looking for a player. He got one. Wallace has marked the football 25 metres out directly in front of goal. So a goal here would make the score level. Level, and the time check is 18 and a half minutes gone.
If they kick this goal, Ted, they will have kicked 8 goals in 18 minutes to Melbourne's 1.
Right, now Wallace from 25 metres out, directly in front of goal on K-Rock football here in Melbourne, 6NR in Western Australia. As we see this boy, body well over the football, about to come in here now and fire for goal. He's kicked 1. He fires and scores. Not less than 5 points the difference. Oh, gee, the dramatic the goal umpires. And it's through for 1 point only. So it's now Melbourne, 19 goals, 8, 122. Essendon, 17, 15, 117. Ball coming back into play from fullback. Hits the members stand side, they fly, no mark. Anderson, handballs on to Anthony Danaher. 50 metres out, and the Bombers are no. They're still behind. Another point to Essendon. 17-16, 118. They trail by 4 points. Melbourne, 19 goals, 8, 122. As the ball about to come into play from the full-back position here and bringing it back in, it will be Road. Road of Melbourne, the full-back. Is undecided which way to go, so we decide to get in the middle. Peter Legrand.
Here's the kick out from Peter Road, out to centre half, back up goes Michael Pickering, marks it, handballs quickly to Beveridge. He runs across the centre square, kicks up to the half forward position, back over the head of Denham, bounces awkwardly for him. Little Healy punches it into the forward line, a chance for Swartz, tackled, handball out in front of him, kicked on the ground by Lyon, comes to Chris Sullivan, tripped, he's got the football, handball back to Swartz, covered by Hills, has to handball behind him to the open spaces. Hills dives on the football, throws it out, but the umpire says no, I'll ball it up on the 50-metre line.
When a side gets a run along like this, it's normally a bit of a break and a lull and a stop. Has it stopped for Essendon?
It has not stopped, and there's plenty of time left too.
20 minutes have gone.
50-metre out from Melbourne's goal. There's the bounce, knocked away here by Considine, comes to Flood. Flood clears it from the defence, out to the wing on outer side. Wanganine's there, Yates tackled with the football, gets his kick in, Yates kicks it out wide over the boundary on the full. It'll be a free kick to Essendon on the half-back flank outer side. No, it's not on the full, says the boundary. It'll be a throw-in. So it's a throw-in, 55 metres out from Melbourne's goal. 55 metres out, and it's 4 points the difference in favour of the Demons, who led by 41 at three-quarter time. The big boy for Melbourne, Steins punched it down in the direction of little Izard in the back pocket. Izard's flattened and pushed over the boundary. Another throw-in will take place.
St Kilda still in front?
Yes, St Kilda have just gone down by 2 points. Carlton are up now. Carlton 16-11, 107 to St Kilda 16-9, 105.
Boy, oh boy.
Here's the throw-in the forward pocket for Melbourne. Up they go. Sharked here by Considine. The back pocket kicks out to the half-back flank. It's all Melbourne there. Brett Lovett's there. Just punches it into the open spaces. Punch back by Healy. Comes to the ground where it's a handball out towards Michael Pickering that time. He kicks it high in the air. It's on the half-forward line for Melbourne. Lions underneath it. The Bombers defenders punch it back to Harvey on the edge of the square. A hand pass to Long. Tackled. Lost the football. Brett Lovett picks it up. Brett Lovett kicks it to the half-forward line for Melbourne. It's a mark to Glenn Lovett.
Why didn't Anderson kick that football for Essendon?
Harvey.
Glenn Lovett has got it. 40 metres out from goal. Half-forward flank outer side. Glenn Lovett, let's see what he can do with it. Melbourne desperate to consolidate. They lead by 4 points. If he can kick this, it'll put them 10 in front with about 21 and a half minutes played. A vital shot for the Demons to consolidate here as Glenn Lovett comes in. It's going to go across the face of goal. The Bombers go for it. They miss it. It hits the turf. It comes to the ground. A handball here from Williams. Gives it to Cuthbertson. A snap in towards goals wide, and it goes right across the face of goal. Over on the full. A free kick will go to the Bombers in the back pocket. Attendance 41,405.
The umpire now gives a free kick to Kickett in the last line for Essendon. And time getting away. We've hit the 22-minute mark and the Bombers need a goal. They need a goal. They've got to keep the momentum up here. So Kickett goes to the outer side looking for a flyer. The big fellow was there somewhere, but it goes down to Thompson. He's tackled a chance here for Lyon. He's put off target. In goes Long. Long's got it for Essendon. A handball goes out this time to his teammate in Harvey. Harvey kicks Long to half forward. It's an awkward looking bounce, but coming out as Road in good defensive style for Melbourne. He goes to the outer side wing. Ezard's out there chased by Yates, but Ezard traps the football, but he's in trouble. Diabolical trouble, but he punches the ball free. Picking away up there was Lovett, gets a handball out to his teammate in stretch, and that was a handball from Beveridge really. Out to Stretch, who kicks Long up towards a forward position where we see William take it, and Williams kicks and he's missed it. Through for 1 point only, so they lead by 5 points. 23 minutes have gone in the last quarter on K-Rock Football, TAC Insurance scoreboard. Kickett goes for the short one, and he's found the teammate down here in Flood. Flood doesn't stuff around. He moves on with it. He finds Considine at centre half back. He's in trouble, but he gets out of it. He's got Anderson loose. Now the Bombers have got a chance. Anderson with two bounces gives a handball over the top here to Kilpatrick. He goes short. And it's a mark to Melbourne in the last line of defence to be taken down here by Yates. He's got a player loose, and he's found him out there in Stretch. Stretch in the back pocket on the outer side. He goes long to centre wing. They set and they fly. Grenville got up high, hits the deck, and Lyon gives a handball over to Beveridge. His kick goes astray. In goes Healy. The umpire said, give it to me, and I'll bounce. And the time check now is 24 minutes almost into the last quarter. 17-16, 118 Essendon. Melbourne 19-9, 123. Yes or no, Brian, for Essendon?
Oh, yes, they can certainly still get up. This is anybody's game.
Awkward bounce by Viney. Gilly falls into the arms of Spawn, but not quite. Punched away by Anthony Danaher. It comes out to the edge of the square here, and the Demons chase it. Pursuing it here is Cuthbertson. Can't control it. Dives on it. Todd Viney backs up well for Melbourne. Loses it. Bounced it and lost it, and it's over there. And a Essendon player overrunning the football to Spawn. And the pressure really starting to tell. It's over the boundary line on Members' wing, and a throw-in will take place. It's a 5-point lead to Melbourne at the 24-minute mark. Here's the throw-in on the Members' wing. Knocked down by Somerville. Denham copped a beauty. Got nothing for it. In they go. Brett Lovett's there. A little bit of tunnel ball. Kicked off the ground by Greg Healy. Comes to Glenn Lovett. A handball. Didn't come off. Goes to Long. Long a handball on centre wing to Anthony Denner. A short one to Spawn on Members' wing. Spawn up to the half-forward line. Essendon into attack. Knocked away from Hills. Comes to Yates on the edge of the square. Tackled. His kick went along the ground about 5 metres to Michael Pickering. The Demons. Pickering a hand pass to Phoebe. Phoebe into attack looking for Sullivan, and he pursues it with the Kilpatrick.
On the outer side where Sullivan has the football, gives a handball back here towards Stretch. Stretch has got the ball now, gets around Kilpatrick, puts it onto his left boot, goes short, but very close to the boundary line and dribbles over for a throw-in. We're gone 25 minutes in the last quarter. 5 points. In front are Melbourne.
Be 5 minutes to play at least, Ted, because Essendon had kicked 7 goals too this quarter to Melbourne's 1 goal too.
Boundary umpire throwing the ball back into play here now. Up they go. Big Considine goes up. Down it goes to Beveridge. Gets it to Healy. Healy to Lyon. Lyon with a left foot snap. Lyon has been marked by Kickett. Now who's he got here to kick to? Nobody. Goes for the short one, and he's found Long. Long handballs over to Anderson. Anderson now for Essendon. Members stand side. Chips one and finds Spawn. Spawn now. He's got no one either. He's just kicking high in the air. Out they come. This time it's Somerville. No mark, and it's all Melbourne as Pickering gathers it in here for Melbourne. Comes to the Members stand wing. Bryce is the target. He dives and he marks on the wing. Now the Bombers have got to convert one more goal. Melbourne need one, and it would be all over. There's a kick by Bryce, and they fly out in the half-forward line. Comes down here towards Beveridge. Got a Sullivan. Kicked off the ground by Sullivan. Out they go. Taken away by Beveridge onto his right boot, and they're tired players of both sides. And you can bet your bottom dollar that Terry Danaher, who's warming up on the interchange bench, would be just love to get into the action here. Sheedy's going to put him down to full forward. There's a throw in by the boundary umpire. Considine brings it down with him. shoots a handball out to Thompson. In turn, he gets it to Long. Long goes for the big one, and here comes Salmon. He missed the mark. A chance for Bryce for Melbourne. He picks it up. Said it's a free kick.
Great tackle,
It's
Wanganeen.
a free kick to Wanganeen. 48 metres out from goal. 27 minutes have gone in the last quarter here.
He's kicked 1-3, Wanganeen.
1-3 to Wanganeen. Brian, can he pop this through?
No, I don't think so. I don't think he can kick the distance. So I watched his last 2 attempts for goal and they just couldn't get the distance.
48 metres out from goal. Salmon's down in the square. So is Somerville. They're all there. Wanganeen comes in. Runs close to the man on the mark. It's a beautiful looking kick. He's got it through the middle. Straight through the centre. And Essendon are in front by a point. 27 and a half minutes have gone on the TAC Insurance scoreboard. Relay to 6NR Western Australia. It's TAC Insurance along with Capital Building Society, GMHBA, Colin Kerr Ford. 19-9, 123 Melbourne. Essendon 18-16, 124.
Talk about revivals. This has been a sensational quarter by Essendon, and poor old Melbourne, they've stopped. They might lose this one because it's all hinges on who get the ball out of the centre this time.
There's the bounce, and it's one here, all sharked out by the big fella Salmon. Tried to flick it out. The umpire says you threw it, and it's a free kick in the centre of the Melbourne. They trail by a point after leading all day. 27 minutes into the last quarter. Michael Pickering kicks Long into attack for Melbourne. Up goes Lyon, knocked away from that player. Shark there, but it comes back to Tingay. Tingay kicks in towards goal. Kick, it's there. Can he touch it? He's marked it. A spectacular goal umpire.
Scores a level.
1 point, says the goal umpire.
He's playing the mark.
Got it.
Well, the goal umpire touched his chest and signalled a point, and I thought it was a mark, and Ted said it's a point, and the umpire in the centre said, no, we'll pay the mark, kick it a spectacular mark. Out of the back line, he comes on the left foot, kicks out Long to centre half back, off the hands of the pack, and hits the turf. Gary Lyons' kick is smothered off the boot, comes to Long from half back, kicks to the members' wing. Essendon pursue it with vigour, and so to Melbourne. They dive on it. Yates and Spawn, neither effective. Push to the boundary line. Over she goes on centre wing. 29 minutes played, and it's Essendon by 1 point at the MCG. Here's Mr. Football on K-Rock. Football
29
magic.
minutes have gone. There's a throw in by the boundary umpire, and Salmon goes up in the ruck, goes down towards Long, and Tingay's in there as well. Thompson, and so was Anderson. He's tackled, goes to the ground. The umpire said throw it in again. 29 and a half minutes almost into the last quarter. Essendon in front by a point on K-Rock Football in Melbourne. 6NR in Perth, Western Australia. Up goes Big Phoebe. It comes down here. Long's on the bottom of the pack. Boy, are they having a red-hot go here in the last quarter. What a game of football.
29 and a half minutes played. 1 point the difference in Essendon. 18-16, 124. Melbourne 19-9, 123.
There's a bounce right in front of their broadcast position. Salmon, who's played a lone hand for the Bombers, gets his kick. It's a hurried one. In they go. Bryce is there for Melbourne. They're all trying to pick up the one football, but the umpire said, give it to me. We're at the 30-minute mark of the last quarter, and 1 point the difference. Now Essendon in front by a point. Salmon doing the ruck work, and here they come, the little Melbourne players, but they can't trap it, and it's gone over the boundary line for another throw in. What a sensational win it would be if Essendon could hold on to this slender 1 point lead. Salmon's out there. He's doing the ruck work, knocked away, however, by Pickering. That was as good as a kick. This could be a chance for little Glenn Lovett. He kicks, but it's been made in defence by Considine. Or is it Flood down there?
No, you're right.
Let's have a look at him. It's Flood who's marked in the last line for Essendon. And boy, what a chance that was for Melbourne. He goes to the outer side. He's got options out there. Spawn's there. He flies no mark. It comes down to Kilpatrick. Handballs to Hill. He hits centre wing. It's in open territory close to the boundary line. Kilpatrick goes. He gathers. He handballs to Terry Danaher. Danaher hooks. And a siren! And the Bombers are up by a point. And what a sensational finish here at the MCG. An absolute sensational finish here at the MCG. As I said, that Paul Salmon virtually played a lone hand there, and Kevin Sheedy coming out from from the coach's box. Johnny Norley would be bitterly disappointed as he marches onto the ground here now to confront his players. But gee, you've got to give the Melbourne side full points. They would not give in one bit. And in the last quarter, it was a brilliant Essendon side who looked gone for all money at three-quarter time and at half-time, where they trailed by 45 points.
See the Bombers fly up, up to win the premiership flag. Our boys who play this grand old game are always striving for glory and praise.
Wonderful effort, Paul, over 4 full quarters against Melbourne, but the last quarter was sensational. 4 goals.
Yeah, it's quite a buzz. I mean, just the whole atmosphere of the day, and the supporters getting right behind us, and managing to kick a few goals myself was just made the day a wonderful one.
Were you surprised when Coach Northey put Steins down to full back?
Oh, look, I suppose you get so focused on the way the game's going, and you know you've got a chance that at that stage, I didn't really notice he was on me until very late in the game. Maybe that's silly, maybe it's not, but you're very wrapped up in your own job you've got to do. So I was surprised to an extent, but then again, if you're a coach of a side that who's worked so hard to win the game all day and it looks like getting run over, then you're going to try anything, aren't you?
Well, I noticed you were very excited after the game. Was that one of the best wins you've been involved with at Essendon?
Oh, it would have to be. It would certainly have to be to come back from that position. It was just such a buzz. Not so much that I kicked a few goals myself, but to see the look of real intent in the guys' faces. They knew they could win the game, and as the last quarter progressed, and then after the game, it was just one in all. And we all really deserved the victory just based on our performance in that last quarter.
Did you have a few after the game?
1 or 2, mate. Not many. You know me.
Well, Derek, were you surprised when Coach Kevin Schutte placed you at full back?
Yeah, I was surprised, but I've been playing the half-back flank and in the back lines, throughout my career, and I was more or less just when Sheed said to play full-back, I didn't sort of worry about it. I just went there.
Well, the longer the game went, the better you played. But that one mark, that crucial mark near the finish of the game when you hit the goalpost, did you think you'd hung on to it long enough?
Yeah, well, I knew that I marked the ball. That's why I got straight up to take the kick, and I didn't see the umpire. I didn't hear the whistle blow or the goal umpire signal anything.
Lucky you didn't hit it with your head, huh?
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Well, you had about 8 or 9 tackles for the game, from my memory, but that last one, the 27-minute mark into the last quarter on Bryce, 50 metres out from goal. What was going through your mind?
I didn't know. It just happened so fast, and suddenly I got the free, and I was 50 metres out, and I was looking to pass it off, but I didn't know whether I could make the distance. I guess there might have been a bit of wind there behind me that helped me, I think.
Well, you missed a few earlier, didn't you?
Yeah, I missed a few quite easy ones, yeah.
So when you put it through, did you think in your own mind that it was time enough, you were in front and the siren would go shortly?
I wasn't too sure. I couldn't believe it. I didn't know whether we were in front or behind, but I guess I looked at the scoreboard and we were, so I was delighted.
Happy with the win?
Oh, very good win, yeah. Good team effort, I'd say. Very much.
Well, at half-time, 45 points down, 41 points at three-quarter time, Bomber, and 3 minutes into the last quarter, a goal by Melbourne put you 47 points down. What were your thoughts then?
Well, I think just at three-quarter time, Sheed said if you get the first couple of goals after the break, you're always going to be in it. And it's amazing football nowadays where I can turn around in one quarter. We play one good quarter and end up winning the game. That's just the way football is.
But to kick 8 goals in the last quarter, surely Schutte himself must have thought it would have to be a miracle.
Yeah, but you just got to keep positive, don't you? That's one of our greatest skills this year. We've really come home well, and if you know in your mind that you can do it, and you go out and you got a fair start, and I think the boys really believed they could, and kicked the first couple of goals. They kicked the first goals, when we sort of came home. It was just a great effort and good character builder for the players.
So it's the old story, Bomber. It's never over until the final siren.
Oh, football's an incredible game. I've never ever played in a game like that, and it was just extraordinary our comeback, and to be part of it, it's just really great.
As captain, you must have been a very proud man on final siren.
Yeah, I think it's got a lot to do with character, and for a side to come back and do that at three-quarter time to be so far down, it takes a lot of character, and hopefully we can use it this year to our advantage and really flow on from that win.
A lot of people rooting for you, didn't you?
Yeah, the whole ground, playing at the home ground too, at the MCG, it makes a lot of noise. I'd hate to play with it filled up because there was only 41,000 people there on the weekend and they made a lot of noise. So when there's 100,000 people there and it's going to get a close game like that, it's really going to put out a bit of noise.
Well, Greg, it was a pretty hard battle right across the centre on Saturday, wasn't it?
Yeah, it certainly was. You know, both sides getting plenty of the possessions and, you know, it was a good battle.
Now, what about you? You spent a bit of time on the interchange bench.
Yeah, I hurt my ankle late in the first quarter, and I spent a bit of time after that first quarter break, you know, getting it treated.
I suppose you're dying to get back into the action when they were getting so close.
Well, too, I didn't think I was going to get back on, and you know, when I did during the you know, the start of the third quarter after half time, you know, I'm so pleased that I never missed that last quarter.
One of the best wins you've been part of at Essendon?
Oh, probably my career. It was just an absolutely fantastic feeling just to, you know, just, I suppose, steal the game, you know, by just at one point. It was great.
Now, what about the coach, Shooty? What did he have to say after the match?
Well, he said a lot, but, you know, the one thing that always stuck in my mind, he's coached premiership sides and, you know, also night premiership sides, and, you know, he said that that's one of the greatest wins that he's had to do with at the Essendon Footy Club, and that means a lot.
Never short of a word, Shoot, is he?
Never short of a word, no way.
See the Bombers fly up, up to win the premiership flag. Our boys who play this grand old game are always striving for glory and fame. See the Bombers fly up, up. The other teams they don't fear. They all try their best, but they can't get near as the Bombers fly up. Premiership flag. Our boys who play this grand old game are always striving for glory and fame. See the Bombers fly up, up. The other teams they don't fear.